Why would you wait till school starts to do that?
Yeah, every year. They did it last year too.
I want to know, what are they doing to it? Anybody know?
I have no idea. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Had to get a windshield replaced on one of the vehicles. The chip and sealing around here is very helpful. Yeah. Also, I had a woman approach me, asking. She does, is it American Girl? It's kind of like Girl Scouts. They usually set up in the Circle K parking lot, but unfortunately Circle K has a new district manager and they're saying it's a liability there. It's just one day in October. They were just asking if they could set up the commons to, do their fundraiser. It'd be like one Saturday in October. If you guys had a problem.
Is that parks or is that?
I mean, you're talking about right out here.
Yeah,
Oh,
Where
okay.
that stage is.
yeah.
Do we own this?
I thought that was parks.
Okay.
The park department.
Is it
runs
park?
that.
Okay.
They usually take care of it.
We get asked.
I mean, I don't have a problem with it, but I still think that falls under parks.
Usually they have us ask you guys too.
Okay.
No, I don't see a problem with
Yeah, I
it.
don't see a problem.
Okay. That's
Just make sure you follow up with the parks, because
Yeah.
as soon as we tell you, yeah, and they may say,
yeah. I'll talk to
Yeah.
you guys.
oh, this not an issue
I
with
told
us.
Angel I didn't think there
Any
was-
liabilities to the town?
That's all I got.
You're just saying the commons are here? Commons.
That
There's
little
a lot
Across the-
stage right there by the,
Oh, up in the front?
yeah, cross street from the bank.
I mean, it's public. The town already has it and it has insurance on its property, so.
So did they really need permission from parks to, I mean, unless they had something already scheduled for
It's
it.
technically a parks. I mean, I think under our parks ordinance, we've got like, you file an application to reserve. Does that sound about right?
Usually I just phone call Sharon.
Okay.
I think the best thing, Tyler, is follow up parks.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll have an issue with it, but it's just best to follow through
I
and,
think she's talking about the little.
yeah.
So,
Are they selling cookies basically? Kind of like Girl Scouts?
I think it might be cookies. Some type of water.
Yeah, I mean, it's not for profit, so yeah. That should be okay. They're doing anything, dangerous or violent,
Little girl.
hope not.
Selling knives.
Hope they're not too militant. Yeah.
Could be Boy Scouts with them too, so you just don't know anymore.
That's true.
That was DLGF over the budget. Everything looks good. They didn't have us being able to be online yet to advertise for tonight's meeting to be a public hearing. So our September 9th meeting will be our first public hearing on the budget, and then the adoption was moved to October 2nd.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
that's the two hearings coming up
Okay.
with that. They did have me increase our circuit breaker up to $80,000 that we lose now. I don't know why that's going up more and more every single year.
That the
So-
electrical company?
Yeah, that's the property taxes that we do not get.
The max
With, yeah,
percentage,
with, so,
1% residential, 2% commercial,
yeah.
sorry.
So.
Yep.
That really kind of hurts, but everything else looked good with the budget. When they present it, it looked great. So I'll get it advertised here probably this week. So we have it done plenty of time for the September 9th. I have Jeff and Heather Stevens built a new home they purchased one out at the housing edition. And Ideal Builders told them to water trees and grass for the first month. So everything stays green. Well, their bill's $384 and they don't really want to pay this, which I understand you get sewer, but I have nothing to go on.
Right.
Is this in the new housing district?
Yeah.
behind Thomas? I know both of them.
I can't adjust their bill when I don't know
What
what
their
they're gonna
average is.
use, because we use 3 or 4 months worth of bills to average to take off the sewer. So I don't know what to do here
Does
with this one.
does the town want to look at adjacent property owners on each side or something and get the
Yeah, cause it'd be
averages in
about
there?
the same house size, wouldn't it?
Well, there's only two of them living there too, so you gotta make sure
Just Jeff
we're
and
comparing
Heather.
apples to apples.
Sure.
And there's a couple now with pools in there too.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So yeah, you gotta be careful with that.
Christie and Mark put in a pool,
Yeah, well, the second one's in now.
and I don't know who else has just two.
There's another one in the back.
It's
We're-
two.
They're in the gray house. They're the ones that first bought the.
Oh,
house, the first house,
Transier. That's
Yeah.
right. There's just two. I could compare it
So
to
compare
theirs.
it to theirs and
And then-
they can,
And is Jeff and them have the pool also?
no,
This
they don't have,
was-
this is the very first house that was ever built by the pond. It's that gray home that's in the back corner.
Okay.
They used to live on 18 right there on the Delphi.
That's Transiers to
Yeah.
compare this
Yeah.
one to. But Jeff and they have not put in a pool yet. They just moved in.
Right by the pond too? Are they the other house by the pond?
It's,
think they
I don't know,
He works at.
40 Howard,
Yes.
40 Howard Street, their address. I don't know which house.
I used to work with him through Home Depot. But I believe he works for UPS.
I'll look at Transier and we'll go from there.
I think he was running down there.
Is she?
And you come up Jeff
I
Stevens.
don't blame her. I wouldn't want to pay $384 either, but it's like, I don't know what to do here. You know, anything to go by.
See if that's an equal
They sold the
comparison.
house in Peru.
And if there is an adjustment, it's gonna let it
We can always do it later then.
Maybe it's the wrong Jeff, maybe it's the wrong Jeff
I
Stevens
don't
and Heather.
know, I don't know, I don't know if
But
I'm
at
gonna
least
get.
that'll get them down where,
I don't
I
know.
know somebody that.
yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know his name.
Okay.
Too embarrassed.
That,
I know church room.
clerks conference. I'm gonna have to get with Tony on some stuff. They, a lot of changes going on. They, House Bill 1001 was building fees. I had to set up a total different fund for our planning and zoning fees and all this. It's no longer allowed to be in our general fund. Went into effect 7/1/26. I've already got that done. I'm okay with that.
And on top of that, it limits, if I recall correctly,
You
as to
can
how
take all the
often,
money for too.
right. But also how often we can increase
Every
those.
5 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
To increase the fees.
Yep. So it might be one of those things where we just put on the calendar every 5 years or something that we revisit that
Yeah.
to do the fee increases. So, yep.
So,
Would you like for me to just schedule a time where we set up a conference call and we just hash these out over the phone, or would you rather me come
Can.
over here and we could sit through them, or
you
whatever is
can.
convenient for you?
There are several.
Oh, yeah.
There's, a House Bill 1360 public records that went into effect 7/1 this year on how we can handle some people that all these people want our information that don't even live in the state of Indiana, which I'm glad to see that bill. That's a good bill. There's a MUSP meeting that county council has to run. This is to do with our lit. And I reached out to Miami County Council President. He's gonna schedule one maybe October or November, but by December, the county council has to put a recommendation in to the state. And it's supposed to be a unanimous, so all the clerk treasurers of all the towns will be invited to that meeting, and we can kind of argue for our lid. I said, I don't care as long as you don't cut me. As long as I can get what I'm getting right now, I'll be happy with this $83,000 circuit breaker. But that, hopefully, I can't do anything till Grant County gets a hold of me. Miami County, Grant County got a hold of me today. They wanted to know when our meetings were scheduled. So they're checking with all the towns. So that one will be coming up, I would assume. So, House Bill 1210 is a publication that what I want to work with Tony on also. It goes into effect 7/1/2027. The way I'm understanding this, we may be able just to advertise on our website.
Yep.
We don't have to worry about newspapers
Right.
and stuff like that.
Mm.
No cost there. If we can just go on our
And still post,
and post
48
it
hours.
and
Wow.
stuff like that, so that'll work out.
Yep.
And also in House Bill 1210 is our excise distribution. DLGF is all looking at it, it's all going our general fund. So this will be one that right now it goes in general, MVH, park and CCD and all this. So you guys may want to remember when we did CVET,
Mhm.
you guys left the percentage like it is right now. So it'll be up to council to kind of set this off though,
Right.
to where you want me to put that money. And that takes place 7/1/27. So we don't really have to, it's just stuff that needs to come down. Now the good ones, and then we'll almost done. House bill 243, penny shortages take place 1/1/27. And I'm gonna tell you, I don't want this rounding up and rounding down. My personal thing with this is I think if somebody gives me money, it all goes on their account. We're not gonna give round up nickels, round up,
What if they get,
round up, round down. They'll get
Just
the
give a
credit.
credit.
what if they give
It'll be
you
a
$200 and they need that $20 back and it's a $108 bill?
Well, we'll
Would we
do
do that?
that.
You'd have
I'm just
$20
talking
change, just no
claims
fees.
that, you know, if it ends up 29
But whatever
cents,
changes, okay, I see what you're saying.
that kind of stuff.
That makes sense.
A lot of the clerks are no cash.
Right.
I don't want to go that way. I
Okay.
don't think that we take a lot of cash in.
Okay.
I would hate to tell people, nope, can't take your cash.
Right.
It don't affect credit cards and stuff like that. It is just cash, the cash deal.
Right.
And also it's
But-
legal tender.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
you have to
it's
take
just-
it.
You gotta take it.
Just,
Yeah.
just another thing, you don't want to get to a cashless society.
Right.
We can
Exactly.
give back bills, but we probably won't get back change. Let's just kind of make that a
Need like little
Well,
change.
Well, like she said, it could be actually a credit. Then once they got like a full dollar amount or whatever that could be, it can be applied to their account or refunded as a full dollar amount versus
right.
Right.
worrying about
Not just-
29 cents.
Yeah, I don't mind giving back the bills, but I don't wanna have to say, okay, I'm not, instead of giving you back 2 cents, I gotta give you back a nickel. That makes me short, and then I'm gonna have to be doing all this adjusting all the time.
In that sense,
So-
you would just show that there'd be a 2-cent credit.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah.
So we'll have to,
Then if that build up because it cost at 2 cents over by the end of the year, you could either pay it out or adjust their bill off of that 20, 30 cents or whatever it
yeah,
accumulated
if we
to.
did, yeah. We're doing away with cash,
Yeah,
in my
no.
opinion. But that will take an ordinance also, so
Yep.
Tony on that,
Yeah.
so.
Some municipalities are.
Right.
Yeah, some of the municipalities are determining when you round up and when you don't.
Mhm.
But yeah, certainly just giving them 2-cent credit, and even if they close their account, they're gonna get it back. So
Right,
yeah.
right, they would at that
Yeah.
point. So that's
But at least,
more what I'm
at
in
least at
favor
that point, then you can write a check out back for the,
for the amount.
right,
Oh yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
versus handing out pennies that they're not. Yeah,
Yeah.
don't get me started with the penny thing. I think it's just,
I'm sorry, but it's here.
Yep.
It's coming. I mean, we have to address it, so that would be my,
Yep.
if you guys are okay with that, then I'll get with Tony on that and we'll get that. Which I've been working on the ordinances. I got several that do need, I feel, brought up more. I've got a list made out for Tony. I am all in favor of getting our ordinances codified at the beginning of next year that we need desperately. So that's a good thing that I can get with Tony and get the ordinances all ready to go by at least January or whatever, then February. We can start in getting them codified once they're adopted. So, the only other thing, I'm almost done, guys, fire department. They sent me a thing that this year we are paying $31,000. They would like a 4% increase for next year. I did put in the budget for 32,000, which gave them $1,000 from the town. They're asking 1,200, so there was for this, and they did send in this contract again, because last year they didn't sign one. Tony drew.
I drafted one,
Yeah,
and then when I wasn't here,
yeah,
they came in with their old form contract
Mhm.
and the contract that was uh, that the board had asked me, town council had asked me to prepare was one where it shows that the compensation for, reimbursement for firefighting clothing and also for mileage on their vehicles. The town council had voted and wanted to indicate that what 31,000
Mhm.
was
Okay.
the flat amount and that it was inclusive of those expenditures and that they would pull that out of that. In the form in the contract that they then presented to the town council, it did not have that language in it. And so after they get the amount that they wanted, then they come back with their hand open again, saying we want reimbursement for reimbursement for firefighting gear, for the clothes, and then also for vehicle mileage, private vehicle mileage reimbursement. And so my suggestion would be that the town council not sign their contract and use the one that I prepare. And that's something that, accidents happen. And I think I had a family vacation or something. It was February or something like that. So, yeah. And
Now, do they get any funding through the county side of that?
they get it through other, like they get money from Amboy, they get money from some of the other townships.
Township.
Yeah, and so because originally all the firefighting was funded through your townships, and so when you have the development of towns or cities and they grow, what they then do is they gobble up the townships, and suddenly, like Peru Township is almost completely been eaten up by Peru City. So so the and what was discussed at the last year when we were working through the contract and what the town council wanted in it. What was discussed was that the town council went through and calculated up percentages of calls that were in Converse versus in these other townships, and they were comparing how much was paid from these other townships versus Converse, and Converse has the lion's share of it. And so that's why they did. The town wanted to have a set amount of liability and be done with it, and not have them come out later on and cite to an Indiana statute that says that if the contract is silent as to that, then the town has to pay it. And so that's why I wrote up the contract that way, to be inclusive of that. And they didn't sign the contract that I drafted, and then
Chris
came back.
went and talked
I
to
want
them.
to talk to him. So
Okay.
there was some wording in the contract that I think did raise some eyebrows, and one of them happened to be with like some kind of like with their education, where they had to stay up on some stand. Yeah, some OSHA's. I'm like, some of the regulations.
At OSHA?
Well, it was some form of regulations that they were going to restrict on the fire department itself, and that the town would take almost full. I mean, like they were going to take ownership over their vehicles as well. I don't know.
Yeah, it indicated that in the event that the volunteer fire department folds,
Right.
that those fire trucks can go back to the town.
Okay. So I
Yeah.
guess what that they needed like clarification on what that
Yeah,
stood for.
that was just to protect the
then-
town's investment
Right.
in the equipment.
Okay.
Because the town is providing the lion's share of their funding,
Right.
and so
You just don't want to start out with new equipment for that fold.
well, we didn't want, like, let's say it folds and it sells, this expensive equipment, and instead of, giving it back to a successor fire department that might take over, or instead of them giving the funds to any other not-for-profit, because whenever you have a not-for-profit, for tax purposes, it is always safe for the not-for-profit to give whatever funds they have left over to another recognized not-for-profit. It's super easy. You just like, whatever we had, we gave to this not-for-profit. And I mean, it could be any not-for-profit.
Right.
It could be like, Rotary Club has their Shoes That Fit, which I love the Shoes That Fit program. I do that, but but you don't want, 100,000 or 200,000 or whatever of assets where they could just give it to whomever they want, because that protects the town's investment in those assets. And I believe I had it based upon their percentage of contribution.
I really understand what you're saying. I do. But the other side of that is this is a voluntary service. I mean, these men show up on their own reconnaissance, whether or not they want to be at that fire or not, or scene or whatever. They've been here they're the reason why our insurance rates are as cheap as they are.
Contributes, yeah.
I mean, they've received money from the aviation board to be able to have the best that they can possibly get, because I mean, time is tissue in most cases, and just, the extrication and getting people out, and I want them to be the best. As far as like a fear of them leaving, I've never had that feeling like they're going to just up and sell. But when I was reading that contract, it almost felt like we were taking full ownership over that fire department, and we can dictate or choose to do whatever we decide, or the amount of money we're willing to give. I mean, I understand we do give them a lot,
Mhm.
but they are the best in this area. I would say they are the best. I've never had an issue with Commerce Fire in any way, shape, or form. I don't feel like me personally, I would not want to take ownership over that department just because it's ran very well as it is.
Yeah, the town wouldn't take ownership. They were just securing an interest in the assets. And so that the town would have input as to what ultimately happens with their contributions. And certainly the town doesn't want to tell them how to run their business. We want them to manage it and run it. And I think some of the concern was also, is there dwindling numbers? So if you, like, for instance, the same issue that had come up probably about in the last 2 or 3 years, where there was a lot of like up around Peru, and the Amboy Volunteer Fire Department. Amboy has a massive area that it provides fire protection coverage, even into the business 31 area. So it's almost 6 miles along 31 for some of their coverage. And there was issues with Peru Fire Department and them being hesitant to go outside of corporate boundaries to provide assistance. And so with, Van Buren, probably about 2 years ago, maybe 2.5, is when they had dwindling numbers as well, and they wanted to make sure that they're getting that proof of training and things like that. And so,
But when you say proof of training, I mean, volunteer service, they stay up on top of their training more so than like a city.
it was just to get communication
Okay.
from them, get
Okay.
reports and updates. And a lot of times the town council, in previous compositions of it, were wanting to know, you guys keep asking us for more money, but the town had mentioned like they weren't doing boot collections or pancake fundraisers as often as they maybe had in the past.
So if they were to sell, let's say they sell a truck, that money can stay within that organization. They can buy another truck or do whatever.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
100%.
It's only if they ever.
If they fold, yeah,
You don't want to start your town fire department from scratch when buying a new truck, because
yeah,
all those assets would just fall back into the town.
yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Or at least just reserve an interest in it,
Yeah.
along with all the other townships based on their percentage of contribution.
I think there was misunderstanding
there was, like,
on
a lot of
that part of
misunderstanding.
folding. Because they were under the understanding if they went out and sold a truck, let's say they sold a truck for 50,000, they had to give that money to the town. They couldn't use, now, that's the way kind of,
I'm thinking that's what the
That's-
direction it was going.
Yeah,
As far as
because you called me and was telling me that's.
but the other
where they
concern was the
wanted it.
education thing, where they had to stay up on a standard where.
It was just minimum, just to show that it is to the standard was, and I think we kind of calculated based upon X number of people that are volunteering as well. But it was just minimum competency. So because the town, I mean, I don't think the town wants to have and hold and manage the assets or do the insurance on it. you know, part of what the town pays in is gonna pay for that insurance and maintenance and the
Yeah,
town
but
wants them to do it.
Micromanage that entity.
Right.
No, they just, in the event that there was dissolution of it, the town wanted to have a contract showing that each of these each of these townships and the town has at least a security interest in the percentage of the value of the assets. Heck, I mean, if it's sold and then they buy another one, no problem. But, you know, let's say it's sold dirt cheap to somebody else, you know, let's say it's an inside deal. I don't think that would happen, of course, but if someone says, yeah, sure, you know, here's 20,000, turns around and sells it to, you know, a neighboring town for 40,000, you know, I mean, that's, yeah, so. So I'm happy to talk to them about it. If they've got a question like that,
And
they can
I
always
think
call.
if we do bring this contract up, I think we need to probably have that conversation with the fire department and have them come in and meet.
Yeah,
And with you to have this conversation.
yeah, normally they do. I mean, normally they come in but after we sent them the proposed contract, I don't think anything happened for, well, basically, I think it was February then, and
Yeah,
that's probably in Michigan snowmobiling. So, because I always go,
and I have a
February.
deadline, there's a deadline that I have to upload all contracts to
Yep.
the state.
Yep.
And
Yep,
that was
per
one of
date.
the reasons why I think when Chris called me, that they weren't wanting to sign the other one, it's like, sign the old one, let's get it, so I can get it uploaded, and then we would deal with it this year.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what we decided.
I guess
Was-
we go ahead and have the contract, is it the contract you've already written up? It's
Yeah.
already been established. We'll review it next meeting
Sure.
and
Just make sure we have full quorum. That's,
Yeah.
Tyler's got his eyes on that also.
yes.
And that's the one you want for 2027.
So that's,
Okay. And Chris, I could email it to you again, you know, and you can take a peek at it, get
Okay.
some fresh eyes on it and, you know, so.
Yeah, everybody had one,
Yeah.
everybody
You
had.
probably haven't seen it because Sandy, you
You
weren't on the
have.
board, so I can
No.
give you, I can
Yeah,
give you
I'd
the
like
one
to see
too.
I want to make sure I'm not misreading something that he's seeing or vice versa.
My issue's always been, they're always asking for more money, but we've never gotten an itemized list with even spending money on.
Yeah.
What are their bills?
It-
What,
And I think that we had put in the contract that we would like a report as to the,
But I get things go up. I mean, we got to also realize fuel goes up. Those trucks aren't easy to maintain.
terribly expensive.
Yeah, I can imagine even with a fire truck, it's more than that, because you're not dealing just with the engine itself. You gotta also look at the water part of that pump. Those have to be, that wouldn't be any different in the water department. I'm sure these guys would attest to that. Those things fail if you don't keep them up.
don't use them, they.
So I get part of why those increases have to happen.
Okay. And again, I drafted that based upon what the board had asked for at that time. So,
Let's put some more eyes on it and make sure we're seeing it as what's being proposed. Sure.
and yeah, when you have a change in composition of the board, there's nothing that prevents the board from deciding to go a different direction or change policy.
read over it.
Yeah.
Anything else? All
Yeah, I'm done.
right, Jimmy.
I do have one item, the waste treatment plant, we had some, lift station maintenance done and one of the valves is bad, and this is a quote
Is that
to, replace that valve.
You only get one quote from things like this because it's animal. Yep. Okay. Oh, there's only so many required. Yeah. That's, I'm okay with it. Right.
that's a valve?
Yeah.
I got valve, $4,860.
But like Don's saying, probably not finding too many companies that deal in this stuff, so. I'm fine with it.
For a motion to pay Placement of this water valve, the 6-inch valve, $4,860.
Second.
Motion by Sandy and a second by Don. All in favor?
Uh,
Aye. Anybody opposed? Okay. Anything else, Jimmy?
That's it.
Yeah. You're up. Tony.
Okay. Alrighty, so, called Joe. This is on the, Commerce, Neighborhood Development Corporation, asking him when the lot proceeds are going to be paid to the town. I had 2 phone calls with him asking him. He did not give me any information as to when that'll be paid to the town, nor any amounts. So I don't have an answer for the town. So I'm not sure if this is something where, the town wants to send him a letter or send Tori a letter. Or asking them to come in and give a report or something along those lines. As part of their not-for-profit status, the not-for-profit protections that they enjoy are because of their close connection and oversight by the town. So yes, they are a not-for-profit and they can spend their funds, based on their needs. However, none of that would have happened but for the
How
town's contribution.
far out are those funds? I mean, how many days delay has that been?
Let me look up and
And
see
what's the
here.
norm?
I mean, normally it would be pretty quick because it would just be applied against the loan that the town had, but
Have those funds been collected from the homeowner?
oh yeah, the closing already occurred.
So those funds are
So-
there, but where are they at now?
With the neighborhood development.
checking,
Yeah. So let me see if I can pull up here real quick and see when I prepared that deed.
See, you stop going on.
I can feel like it was maybe May or June or something like that, probably
There
closer.
was one did that last week.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I'm looking up here to see when I,
2 or 3 months.
yeah.
It had the money.
Who runs that?
So it's Joe, it's Tori, and is it
Frank.
Frank Bargerhuff? Yeah. So it's a 3-person board. But yeah, I mean, he hasn't.
Well, start charging late fees, I guess.
Well, I don't think you can really do that. There should be cooperation. It's just like with the airport board. The airport board has control of their funds, and they have separate votes and they can sign contracts. And there is always, for the most part, there's always been cooperation between the airport board and the town council. So
I always consider the town money anyway.
yeah, it
Even
is.
though it's not.
It's
not in the right account.
Legally, it's the airport's funds. And I think Max is over the years was always vocal in saying that's the airport board's money, and he's right. And they can sign contracts to incur debt for their board, that type of thing. But we've always had all the contracts be approved by the board and then approved by town council as well. So, and with that good working relationship, mutual respect, it's worked out well. You need a mower? Hey, we need you to mow. Sure, here's some money. So I mean, you were on the airport board, Chris, for many years. Yeah.
Able to do good things with it.
Yeah. So, but I mean, the town can issue a letter to them asking them to all come and present. Let me see here when that was sent out here. Yeah. And I'm sorry, I've not had a chance to get updated the park ordinance on that. I missed that, so that's my mistake. Um, and like I said, we haven't received any response back on the NDOT jake breaking signage. We called on that as well, and so we can give another phone call and
Have you just called or have you sent a certified letter?
I'm showing here that we sent a letter too as well. Let me take a peek here. Let's see. That's an old letter.
Hope we get new chair.
Mhm.
Hope we get new
Mine,
chair.
I'll sign it.
These are kind of getting rough.
I've been looking at them.
Yeah.
See that?
Well, somebody was running a big sale on Facebook. I think, don't we look into it?
Yeah. One, it was.
I mean, it was reasonable to get on the button.
Yeah.
I'm seeing here that it looks like my paralegal's not got that drafted up yet, so that's my fault. Sorry about that. She's been out a couple days as well. Sorry, well, I don't like it. Sorry. But I do know that we called and didn't receive a call back, so that letter will go out not tomorrow because we're not going to have electricity, but we'll send that on Thursday for sure. Sorry about that. No, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Um, yeah. There was some, I think a request about maybe doing administrative meetings. And probably the best way to deal with that would be just have them be set. You know, you can do 2 meetings a month, and I know that like Van Buren does that. They have 2 meetings a month. And oh, did they trim it down?
I went on to one.
Okay, well, when I talked to them, I thought that
They
that
used
was
To go too.
thought that was a lot, but yeah. So but you could have 2 meetings. You just need to have a quorum to be able to receive any information. And it you can't have them be locked. You got to have the doors open. It makes sense to set it for a regular date. It might make sense to even if you don't have a quorum, let's say there's 2 of you, and if there's Kathy and me here as well, you guys can still discuss what the issues are. You just can't take any formal action. You could still ask me questions. I can give guidance on advice. Kathy can give guidance. And so kind of like Tyler had said, it's almost like a working meeting.
Mhm.
The Peru City Works Board does the same thing. It would just be, um, either you limit it to less than a majority, you limit it to 2 town council members, or you just set it up as being, a public meeting and people can come to it. You don't have to have a citizens input section, which they can come in and listen, but you may have it where we're just going to do business, ask questions, and if you've got a quorum, you can go ahead and take formal action. You would just have that be set up as one of your standard meetings. So you could do it that way. But even if you don't have a quorum, you got 2, you could still work through business and ask legal questions and things like that. And if it's legal advice, you know, we would have to, like, regarding pending litigation, we would have to do a notice in advance of it being a special meeting, or it could be closed to the public, you know, if it's one of the permissible reasons, such as legal strategy in a litigation. But usually I mean, that's what, you know, I would suggest either just have it be a standard public meeting. And if you don't have a quorum, well, at least you got two and you can still get some things answered. And so then when you do have the normal, you know, meeting and you do have the quorum, you can take action at that point. So,
And we don't have to have a special meeting every time either.
no, you just set it, you know, advertise it, you know, by, you know, putting on your website and, you know, posting it around here, you know, at least 48 hours, I think is the time period on that. So beforehand. So, yep. And I think that's all I've got. Just for clarification. So, and I missed this, Kathy, what is going to be the budget passage date and time?
Yeah.
Because I know we're going to present it then on September 9th.
At 5:30 is the first hearing.
Mhm.
October 7th at 5:30 would be the adoption.
Perfect. That was the only thing I missed earlier. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's all I've got.
Because October 7th, we go back to our regular. September, we moved from the first Wednesday to because you're on vacation.
I'll
So
be
we
gone.
went to September 9th.
I was thinking that. It's that meeting. Honestly, that's why I'm like, we had a meeting.
Well,
I thought we rescheduled the
Tyler-
meeting.
No, Tyler moved it to here. He
That's
wanted
right,
it.
because he was gone.
He was gone last week, so we moved it.
So then October 7th and then after that, I'll be again the first Wednesday of
The
each month.
first Wednesday in November, and then we're done till January,
Gotcha. Okay. Sorry. Thank you.
because we don't meet in December usually.
Right.
So somebody has something. Then the new council people will start in January, and that's already all
Oh.
done.
And then the other thing, sorry, last thing, on the Converse Airport Board, historically, we've always had a 5-year contract on asking for bids for cash rent. There's approximately 185 acres out there of farm ground. Typically have done 5 years. Had the bidders pay for the soil test. There, in past years, we've done 3 years, we've done 5 years, and I think Don was pretty active in saying, let's get it to 5 years instead of 3 years. And then with your soil tests, you know, you'll have a pretty good idea at 5 years, and it's a good balance with expense.
We pay Kevin Warnock does a soil test every 3 years because of your lime. We provide the lime.
Oh, yeah, we always
So
provide the line.
3-year cycle, so we do it every 3 years.
Mhm.
Doesn't have anything to do with the farmer's contract. So we don't guarantee, but we try to hit 6.5. And so that's separate than the farmer's contract.
Yeah, with our prior request for bids, we had the bidders pay for the soil test to whomever the winning bid is. So that's how we did it last time. They have to not violate FAA regulations. Converse pays for the lime applications. Test by Converse. This is test by Converse every 4 years. So
Okay.
maybe we
So,
bumped it back
before
at
you-
some point.
I think that was Kevin's recommendation.
Okay.
When I was farming, it was every 3 years.
Yeah. Well, and we used to have the every 3 years was the contract term, very early on. So that coincides nicely with that. Prior terms, we had May 1st for the first half and then November 1st for the second installment payment. So 2 payments each year, semi-annual. Remember it got bumped back to May 1st because of one of the contracts where one of the bidders, I think father had passed unexpectedly. I'm blanking on the name. of them, but yes, it was Kim something. So, but is that still okay? May 1st and then November 1st, I assume? Okay. Then they have to state what crops and approximate acreage they're gonna do of each, crop. Bid must be signed, sealed and delivered, and, also have at least $1 million coverage for workers' compensation insurance policies in force and effect. And submitted, by the bills no later than date and time specified for the public hearing. It's gotta be it. So, is all that sound okay?
They. September 14th, or you're the second,
On the,
Monday or-
aviation.
yeah, or first Monday, okay,
It's the first.
first Monday,
and,
September
it's
7th
the first one.
is when the aviation meets,
Okay.
and so
Yeah, what time is that?
It's 7.
7 PM?
Yeah.
It meets here?
Yes.
you wanna get that to me to get it advertised, Tony? I
Sure.
can take care of all the advertising and everything.
Okay. So I've got a couple changes here just on the duration, but we've got it January 1, 2027 through December 31st, 2031. I got a couple changes because, is that September 7th? Is that a Thursday?
Monday,
Okay. All right. So that's going to be a Monday, not a Wednesday there. Okay. So we'll tweak the edits. I'll email that to you tonight because that's super quick, super easy, and for that notice.
we'll get her advertised, so.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you. So sorry about that. All right. Now I'm done.
The old business? The new business.
Do, I've been, approached by several of our town people about, they've seen the advertising for Sweetzer's Beautification Day, and so they're getting a lot of flack. Why are we not doing this anymore? I don't think, I think he would probably agree. I don't think we want to do it twice a year, but I would like to see once a year come back in. But I was hoping the other Tyler was here because we probably need some input, where, how to lock this up, that we just don't have people dumping, on the ground, and we can't fill the dumpster.
Was that like a hazardous waste day or something?
I think it's for
For
anything.
grind tires or?
It used to be for anything.
Yeah.
And Miami County Solid Waste paid for it.
Yeah.
As part of their budget. So this is gonna be on us, sounds like. This is just a Converse expense.
This is the
Once we
shipping-
got a
the containers
facility.
right here from Lars.
Yeah, so now that we have our own facility, we won't get that from the county.
I took yours.
I'll share.
And then
We have you get a $23 solid waste bill every year.
Oh, okay.
That used to pay for that beautification day.
This is the
We had dumpsters 24/7, but people trash, loot, carpet, mattresses.
Yep.
And so many people from Grant County came in and used it. So we just pulled it.
almost need proof of residency, just to use it anymore.
No, it was just come as you, they could just bring it and dump it. Single stream, but so much of it was carpet,
Right. Quick fills.
mattresses, couches, they just dump it. Just came a dump all.
Saying we have to do it. I was just being approached, why are we not doing it? We don't have
We
to.
did with solid waste. The last thing was down at the corner there of the fairground.
Right.
They'd open the gate and
This
it
definitely,
offload.
gonna have it manned, or you'll have everything like.
Oh, yeah.
I think I took yours, sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. Thank you.
I knew I gave you one.
where, historically, where was the location where that was maintained?
Oh, the
Well,
last
that
one
one was-
24/7 was at the shavings lot. And they got such to be a throw all, but then the beautification day part was down at the corner of the. We had it at the shavings too, but then it ended up being down at the corner of the park.
But it's not to say that we couldn't have a set hour, a certain day. Okay, it's open from, let's say, nine AM and it's gonna be done at 2 PM.
Yeah. We were after like 8 to 2.
Like a Saturday then?
Yeah.
Okay.
On a Saturday. Because that's the justification. Otherwise,
But
they say they can't run to Peru.
But that's the issue. People are working all through the week and got no time to get, most people are working in during the day and they're not home till 5 o'clock or some of us later than that some days. And
Well-
You can't dump these on the way down.
Mm,
For $23, you got to do it for free. You just brought it because that the solid waste paid for it. But this, I mean,
seems high, but
You can't start it.
this we could charge a fee, I mean, to pay for it, because
I think we, I'm like him, there could even be a fee to bring a truckload. What, $10, $25?
yeah, what, I don't know
Get
how
rid of your
you,
junk.
how you,
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
That's why I'm bringing it. I guess.
So we don't have a didn't Tyler say he would be on solid waste?
I think
Last meeting,
He missed the last meeting because he was in training when they
Yeah.
had it,
but
so.
I would solicit solid waste to have more weekends open or especially during the summer, maybe spring and late fall. Instead of us doing it.
Would
They
they-
still don't want to drive to Peru maybe, but it's like,
Would they still be,
but it
I
would be
mean,
free.
wonder if they would still be willing to donate some from solid waste, even though, I mean, because we're in,
Pay that money.
We have our own, so Converse has their own recycle. So we pay $7 less than the rest of the county. Everybody else pays 30. We pay 23 because we're the only town that provides its own recycle.
Pay 30. I
No,
pay
we-
30.
You pay 30?
The town does. They bill us. We pay $30. Unless
so
they're billing me
maybe,
more.
maybe we should be soliciting solid waste about putting some dumpsters here for a beautification day, once a year.
Or what? Yeah, on a weekend.
We put that
I'd have to read
highway-
that. I'd have to read that contract because,
Okay.
well, I think the trash contract was for, it was for exclusive pickup
Right.
of residents, like standard trash cans.
Well, our own trash pickup, you have one day a month, you can put out large items,
Mm.
mattresses,
Yeah.
couches.
Yeah.
So why would we even need it?
I don't know.
We have our own recycle. You can put out recycle every other week. And then once a month, you can put out your large items. So what else do they need?
But I've also seen them drive by with large items, even when people had stuff stacked beside their trash can and it just be left. If it can't be picked up by the,
It
Well, they
wasn't-
won't. They'll pick up the next day.
With
They'll,
the
they'll mark
other
it.
trailer
yeah,
and the-
they'll put
And
it
if it's
out
not the
front.
week, I mean, they only do that certain weeks.
Fourth Thursday of every month
Yeah.
is large items, but now
The
they
fourth
don't
Thursday?
take the fourth Thursday. They still won't take like tires or
Right.
refrigerators or
that's the other
TVs,
problem.
but they will take couches, they'll take mattresses, as long as you have the mattresses wrapped in a plastic. They'll take them, they'll take chairs, they take tables, they take all that the fourth Thursday. We do have it, but
Yeah. Well, it's just a matter of education. What people aren't educated, what we offer, what
We don't have to move forward with it. Just something that was brought up to me and I said, well, I'll present it.
Yeah, I would talk to Tyler about seeing if solid waste would,
I mean, there would be our
One
first step
weekend a
if we could
month, a
get one
year.
weekend a month for a year or something to
Yeah.
present there so they can get rid of those appliances, those tires, those. And we don't have them in driveways or setting in alleys or, you know, those type of things going on.
I like it.
But when you sent me that, price, I kind of thought, well, that's a bit high, even though they're giving you a small. That wouldn't take long to fill that up.
Something else that when in this, where they talk about someplace that is access controlled, does the town have any temporary fencing of its own?
Not that I'm aware of.
Mhm.
Okay, I didn't know if they had some from some
It'd have to
projects.
be down to wastewater plant where it's fenced. And there's a drive there where, you know, you can, all your debris, you can take all your branches and stuff there.
I didn't know if it's one of those things where maybe you set up temporary fencing, put a padlock on it, that's how you control it overnight, maybe.
But you'd only do it one day. You're
Or,
not offering it.
But then everybody's gonna leave and they can't pick it up until Monday.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna have everybody dumping anything around it.
And all around it, yeah.
that's why I was kind of wondering, I don't know what the cost is for
And that would be
temporary
the same thing
fencing
with the water
nearby.
plant, what would happen there? I mean,
They
people's
lock
gonna
it.
leave, well, they're gonna leave their brush in front of the door if it's not clean.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's people for you.
Yeah,
I just say the county provides the service and if they don't want to use it, what else can you do?
Well, let's just see what, solid waste will do. And if they don't want to, I'm fine tabling the thing and just making sure the, residents know what, Don was saying. They do have that fourth Thursday.
We could do a reach alert out on it if you would like for me to,
Yeah.
on it.
It'd be helpful for some of the people that probably don't know about it. I mean, we got a few new residents. I mean, even myself, I've been here a while and I didn't know about the fourth Thursday. I just told you that I didn't know about it. Is that something that could be added to like the water bill, like
Yeah.
a note?
Mm-hmm.
If that's a constant, if that's a constant print, then
Mhm.
eventually they're gonna get it, right?
We can.
But on our website too, they have a trash pickup portion of the
I
website.
don't know if she's got that on there or not.
Put all that information that,
I
cause
can, Brittany.
we don't have a lot of recycle, so I don't recycle it maybe one every 3 months.
Hmm.
And I don't remember, is this a recycle? I always look at my neighbors to see if they put out the
My
recycle.
wife's got it on the calendar. She's adamant we're gonna recycle.
One neighbor puts it out it's like, well, I can't trust him. And then a lot of them don't put it out because they don't have enough recycle. It's like, I call Chris.
But I do like the recycle trash bins better than those totes.
Oh, yeah.
Those things
Yeah.
end up all over the
Yeah,
road.
there's
the
nothing
yard.
blue with it everywhere. Nothing more on new business.
Real quick, I'm sorry, I pulled up the contract that we have with LRS. It says the town desires LLC to exclusively collect and legally dispose of the trash, rubbish, waste, large pickup items, appliances, and any other non-hazardous waste and recyclables. So,
So they'll pick up an appliance if it's out beside the road, like on the fourth Thursday.
There
That's
you
good.
go.
that's what the contract says.
That's good to know.
So,
So there's an answer to one now. I can apply if you got a appliance, as long as it's not hazardous, you can put that out.
right. And so if people are trying to clean up tires,
Yeah.
like your beautification projects typically are, clean up your tires, your mattresses that are still considered hazardous waste, paint, things like that.
The tires in a black bag and throw it in the trash.
It used to be
They'll
built in
never
that,
know.
but if you open the lid and allow it to
Don't
dry
get-
out.
Deteriorate.
Don't give them ammo, because that's exactly what would happen.
So, but
How dumb you gotta be?
so for the cleanup day, if we're focusing on, if the town focuses on, hazardous waste, like things like that, they wouldn't be violating the contract. And on top of that, it looks like, and most of what is discussed in here is the carts, the 96 gallon carts. And there's, I think, a couple dumpsters maybe for the town. Does that sound about right? Yeah.
We got one at the park and one at the sewer plant.
Yeah.
So typically the hazardous materials is gonna consist of paint and tires, is that what you're saying?
Paint, tires, medications if they, chemicals.
Medications, they can take them to like CVS.
Yeah,
or
and
any
all
of
those have
places
Go to
take
hospital,
those.
no, yeah.
Hospital take them. I mean,
my wife's work used to take them because they would process them through overseas relief because they have different strategy with out of date.
So refrigerator?
what are you saying? The
I-
pits still work
See how
out?
we
But
define
those don't work. They don't
Yeah,
do
not
that
listed.
anymore. It got too expensive to ship it.
refrigerator is, let's see.
Air
Oh,
conditioner?
refrigerators, large pickup items, which include but are not necessarily limited to refrigerators, freezers, water softeners, water heaters, furnaces, air handlers, air conditioning, condensers, heat pumps, bathtubs, televisions, and any other non-hazardous, large, heavy, or bulky items that are not able to be collected as part of the trash collection and recycling services. They can be reasonably be handled and administrated through use of the 96.
That other company wouldn't take any of that.
Right. Yep.
We were
See,
told
that's
nothing like
probably
that.
really good to know and probably needs to be on our website. As long as it's not hazardous.
And isn't a refrigerator considered hazardous because of the refrigerant in it?
Technically, yes and no. I mean, in its current environment, no, it's not toxic. Outside of the environment, if you shoot
Well,
it.
here's the thing, but if they're legally telling us in our contract that
It's
they
listed in there.
they'll pick it
Yeah.
up, then I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
It's
Because they
what
want
they're,
that.
what,
want
yeah, they'll want that.
They want that free on, especially if it's old. They
Yeah.
Recover it.
old.
They recover it.
Well, the junkers always just cut them off.
Right,
Yep.
right.
They want it in.
Puke it out.
Leave it alone.
We'll get it on the website.
Get that on there and then probably a short note,
I'll-
every fourth Thursday is a,
The fourth Thursday and I'll pull that paragraph.
and we might even like put like
Oh, we can do it.
green leaf next to it, so we'll know that, hey, this is
Every
part
fourth
of,
Thursday.
this is our part of our beautification every week, or, every fourth
Fourth
Thursday.
week of each month, yeah.
And we won't need that.
We'll do it. We'll put it on. We can do reach alerts every
Yeah.
Wednesday to say tomorrow's your fourth
Typical,
Thursday.
right.
We can do that.
Maybe people will start putting that on their calendar and then
You'll know it.
we won't have Tyler and the other officers running around, hey, you gotta get rid of this junk off your property and.
Just knowing that they can take all their brush to the wastewater plant. There's a big bunker there
Mm-hmm.
to offload it. Where I take all mine.
Anything else?
I don't have anything.
All right, Don?
I got a little grandkid that's been visiting the park quite frequently and, there's a area the contractor wasn't paid to landscape, so it's a dark, deep hole surrounded by sidewalk and several kids, toddlers, have face planted. There's concrete and all kinds of debris down in there. It was supposed to have been filled, maybe a tree planted in there, but it's huge hazard. I don't know if we as a board can do anything or not, but
How deep is the hole?
10 inches.
I mean,
It's bigger than this table. I mean, it's probably twice the size of this table.
do we have any fill?
I mean, it needs to be backfilled if it just be filled and grass planted, but it's just a deep hole and kids they're just playing.
So what was
And
the
the
thought
next-
process for that? Was there a plan?
I'm
that
sure
they had?
Parks probably had something on
Yeah,
there.
they said they didn't have money. That was that's part of the future. When Sharon presented, he said there was other, they couldn't finish the project.
Right.
That's future. Well, that was part of it. And that's a huge hazard. I mean, I know 3 kids that face planted. I mean, they're face planted.
Yeah.
It's like,
It is a park, so the little kids are.
Right, yeah,
running
they're
around
everywhere.
I mean, it is for little kids. It's not for, you're 10 years old, it's not for you.
I would encourage the town to find a way to fill that in.
Andrew, go in there and fill it with
I'm sure we've got,
Bulge, something, right?
something,
but just put something in it that's safe.
Something that's either removable.
So it's level.
Yeah.
and I know the park boards then made very aware of it. They like, well, we're out of money.
And I still got the comments about the football. court.
You can't,
I brought that up.
But as a town, we could pay to put something there, right? We could bill it.
I'll pass it on then.
I mean,
I
so the park
think we ought to offer that to them, so at least the liability side of it, that we're not
right, yeah.
Where's it at?
in the park.
so they've got the big,
Yeah.
the slides and the big area and then
Yeah.
between that and the Quonset hut,
Oh, okay. I was going to
There's-
say I was down there with my granddaughter a few weeks ago and I don't remember seeing any big hole.
yeah, it's,
If there's
there's
one.
sidewalk all the way around it. There's a nice
First one to
sidewalk
fall
all the
in.
way around it, transition to that hut. And then to the playing area, like a tree goes there. I mean, they've got trees planted other places.
Well, just
That's
ask
a
them.
Big,
Just ask, do they want a tree there?
Yeah,
Let's plant a tree,
ask them their need and let's see if we. can
mulch it
help
up and
fulfill their
make it
needs.
beautiful.
Whatever they,
I'm sure we can do a lot
Just something
cheaper than
that's
what
not-
they paid.
Yeah.
they'll be
Okay.
10 grand to
365,000, something like
I'll
that.
call Sharon. I'll talk to Sharon.
I mean, if they're looking at.
I wouldn't hand them the money. I would just do it. Just ask them what they want there. See if Tyler can do it. That might be a little easier than just going through the parks and hand them money, and you might get one little flower pot in there.
It's
I
just
don't know. We could probably buy a
grass,
tree
just
keeper
dirt.
or whatever. But
and mulch.
maybe the
would be
plan's for.
huge.
Now, if they want a gold mine there, then we might want to rediscuss that, but.
I'll let you know.
Trisha Hopkins is really, she's the lifeblood of that park. She got everything done.
And I'm sure they have something specified for that, and if they need it bought, then maybe we should just donate that.
That's all I've done.
Yeah, anything, Landy?
There was that one thing, I keep getting these comments about our town has no pickleball court.
I asked about it and they said whoever wants to run a fundraiser, they'll put it in. That's what the park board told me.
I don't even know what that
I
is.
did.
So,
Well,
I'm not-
it does attract a lot of your teens and college kids.
Oh, and older people. I know.
Retirees do.
Retirees are,
I see it
young
everywhere. I
retires are big on
I don't even know.
pickleball.
I don't know how much it would cost to put something like that in. I don't know.
It's basically a tennis court. You're looking
Is
at,
it the same size as the tennis court?
it's a little,
It's a little smaller in width.
Mostly cement
Or blacktop.
net and,
or blacktop.
yep, or blacktop, either one.
You could have went on the other side of the basketball.
The best way to go look at Matter Park. They've put in a
They
lot.
say that's really a nice one. I haven't seen it, heard that.
3 or 4, there's a tennis court,
And then
and
there's
then there's
pickleball.
like 3. So pickleball's taking over tennis.
And
One
I
tennis
know,
court,
I know
3
Marion has
pickleball.
put several of those out through the town. I know I think they're the one over there by the nursing home that comes off the, what's that? Parkway that runs back behind Marion High. There's a little park that sits off there.
Oh, yeah.
They put one there and
Yeah, skiing park there too.
yes, and they got a ski park, yeah.
I went there, bored them gym down, and put in a skateboard park. Some kids would actually use.
I know this doesn't really have anything to really do with this council, but it does in some sense. I was approached by a guy from Cape. It's a form of GM. They do some testing with semis, and
No, we don't want Jake Brick taste testing.
well,
No, no.
they got our number. They got our information from IMMI when they did their rollover test out at the airport. So they got their information through them, and they called me, talking to a Nathan from Cape, and he had a couple proposals about doing some testing out there on that airfield as well. One of the proposals was actually putting in an actual, what they want to do is run like a runoff for a truck, a semi, So they need to get a truck up to like 80 some miles an hour and run a semi off into a pea gravel. And it's a bed of pea gravel. And it has to have like whatever they dig out a base. He sent a picture of what they're looking at. I told him that we're at a really unique time with the airfield due to the fact that we did take out some of the airfield. So you wouldn't be eating into the farmer. Plus, we're have the new contract coming up, and they're wanting to do something like more of a long-term thing where they put this bed in and they can test. Obviously, the airfield had to be shut down when they did do these tests because they would be running from the road.
So who maintains any of that?
It would be them.
Okay.
All the expense of their approach, even to the bed they want to put in, and even when they're done, they're going to remove all of it. But it's not going to be a very. I mean, I don't remember how many feet wide he said it was going to be, but it's just going to be a lane into the field where they can run their tests.
So run from the north to the south.
Yeah, but they would cross
Across
they would have to cross the runway. I encouraged him actually to go out to the site to review and look over it, just to even see if it even would work for him because it is rough, very, very rough. He said he was going to do that. I didn't contact you about the farmer because his season's getting ready to end. So it's like, I'd rather him finish out his crop because I don't know how fast they're wanting to do this, but it's not going to be nowhere near as fast as they wanted to do it. We need to seek all the proper channels and approvals before we even to look at this. But one way he would do it, it would be laid out, done. They would take everything back out and like they were never even there. The other way would be they would like to actually have like a permanent runway where they can do approaches and test different materials.
Are they wanting us to donate that, or are they
No,
wanting to pay?
all the expenses, everything
contracted.
it'd be contracted. Everything would be on them. Every expense of it. Any costs that would damage, they would fund. Nothing with the airfield would ever have to pay out. It would all be a them and obviously a donation from them.
Yeah,
so
Monthly donation or a one they use?
would like to see the
These are
donation.
conversations that we could have. If
Would
you'd
like to see
a
the
monthly-
donation go to the airport to help fund things that they need.
I mean, obviously, I would like to see so a lot of that pad get
Rebuilt.
rebuilt,
Rebuilt.
and they would invest money in rebuilding that pad.
I was gonna suggest maybe that upon conclusion of the contract, when they don't need it, that they re-pour the pad.
Yeah.
Or at least that section that they use maybe. So that can get that restored. They might just ask for them to provide a written proposal and usually with, I think it was IMMI, I'd have to look back at the contract, but, I think that it was usually, we'd have a signed memorandum of understanding, so a short contract and that's instead of a donation, it would just be a contractual right then. So,
I think that sounds great. I mean,
It would bring people to Converse and big corporations, especially with GM. Plus, it put us somewhere on the map. And if they're willing to invest some money into the property,
absolutely.
Eat at our restaurants.
If they're open.
That's true.
I would like to find, that'd be another thing to find a restaurant that wants to be open all year round here.
They make too much money. They don't need to.
I miss the S.
we're just kind of that board. We used to be like all our restaurants stayed open. Marty's was always open.
I miss that. I do really miss Marty's and Essenhoff.
Marty's just quit because they got old.
Yeah. He told me when he was gonna do it after they moved into their compound over there, says, I won't be there long. I said, I figured he was gonna retire. Roger was adamant. But the kids at least might bite into it, but the kids had enough of that.
Yeah, the one daughter. I thought the one daughter would take over.
Yeah. Got the job at the bank.
Yeah.
I
Daughter-in-law.
worked for somebody who could be owner. No, yeah, it's a daughter-in-law.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a daughter-in-law.
We need to advertise for like a Subway.
Otherwise it was gonna come in.
That's all I have. Look for a motion to adjourn.
Make that motion. Second.
All in favor?
Uh,
Aye.
Mark, if you have anything, just
Oh, sorry, Mark.
No,
Yeah.
I think what I'll do next